everyone, this is Sandra. Welcome back to today's makeup video. I am so excited. I am a little bit inspired today because last night, it was one of those nights I felt like I couldn't sleep and I was exhausted. I had to sleep and I couldn't. I was laying there and I started thinking about stuff, and normally usually I use my bullet journal as a catch-all for stuff I'm thinking about, so I actually don't worry about it. I just jot down my thought and then kind of come back to it later. But last night, my bullet journal was downstairs. I was too lazy to go down there and get it. So I sat at my makeup vanity and I thought, you know what? I need to figure out a thing. I need to figure out how to create more space without actually buying more stuff to make more space. Does that make any sense to you guys? So I ended up taking a whole bunch of my palettes from my actual makeup drawer organizers and putting them in an organizer that I have underneath my desk on the floor. And I made so much more room, and I was able to put all of the stuff that was on my vanity into the drawers. So it looks better, and I'm still getting to the point where I want to show you guys my collection, but I just want to make sure it is presentable, and I need to reorganize because now I have, like, for instance, foundation on one side and concealer on another, and I just want it in order of how I do my makeup, which is kind of how I roll because I need to have things organized like that. So as I was going through my palettes, kind of the whole point of this story was I went through my old palettes and I thought, oh my gosh, these colors are so pretty, and why haven't I used this? To top it off, I was in a YouTube watching mood yesterday. So I started watching these videos, and in this couple of videos I was watching, they were palette, like eyeshadow palette declutter videos. And I was watching this one, and I swear this girl had maybe 100, if not more, eyeshadow palettes. And for myself, I went through them. I have one drugstore eyeshadow. And I know I did a drugstore look. I've only done one, and I can't honestly do any more drugstore shadow looks because I'm a firm believer that other makeup can come from the drugstore. So I have a lot of some foundations from the drugstore. I have concealer from the drugstore, but I don't have any other eyeshadow except for that one palette because I like to invest in higher end eyeshadow palettes because they do last longer, so it makes your investment kind of worth it. And then I thought, I saw like this one palette that I'm going to be using today, so I'll show you right now. Whoops, I saw my stuff drops. Wow. Let me show you. It's my Urban Decay Elements palette, and I saw this. You know that I am a fan of color. I love rainbows. I love color. I love sparkle. I love brightness. And I saw this girl throw this palette out, and she hadn't even used it. So she was, I'm not going to list her channel because it was just one of those ones you watch when you're bored. But anyway, so like, she had palettes that she was keeping. She had palettes that she was going to give to her friends and family that were partially used. And then she had ones she never used at all. So some of them were ones she bought, some of them were from PR. And I just kind of thought, like, what a waste, you know? Like, so I want to start using this because I bought it for those colors. And obviously to do with the elements theme, like the geography or the geology theme, and like anything to do with space and cosmos and geology, I'm into. So we're going to feature that palette today, and I just have to say something is that I did actually feature this in a video before, and then for some reason my video did not upload properly. I've been having a lot of problems uploading my videos to YouTube. It either takes forever, and then I check the next morning and there's been no progress, so I have to start all over again, and it's very frustrating. But I had a couple of videos that were only partially uploaded, so I had to delete it, and I didn't save the footage at that point in time, so I just deleted the whole thing. And so I'm hoping that this one doesn't do that. So let's get into the video because, you know, I can just talk and talk. So I've moisturized, but I haven't really done like a full moisturizing routine today. So I'm going to use a moisturizing primer. This is my Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. And the other thing I did, not that I want to throw any of my makeup products because I'm not at that point yet. None of my products are old enough to throw in the garbage or give away because I love using them. There is one that I did throw out, and I've had it for probably 3 years. It was a foundation, maybe 2 years, and it was actually one of these. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the matte and poreless, but it had an ivory shade, and it was the one that makes your skin dewy and moisturized. So I threw that one out because I've had it for a couple of years and I'm not using it. My skin is pretty much darker. I think I've used it on one occasion and I had to mix it with a really dark foundation. So I thought, well, I can't give it away because it's a foundation and it's probably expired. So I just checked it. But I didn't feel bad because it wasn't an expensive product. I think I paid $9 for it. So I felt justified in doing so. Put my foundation on with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So we'll do the same today. I'm going to keep my skin darker today with my Naked Skin by Urban Decay. So this is the Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup in the shade 5.0. So I don't use it often, so I do like to shake this one up quite a bit. And I'll just put 2 pumps straight onto the sponge. Even though my sponge is stained like crazy, I have washed it, but it probably is time to get a new sponge. I do have some backups, I don't want to waste them because even these ones are not beauty blenders, and I know beauty blenders are $30 for one blender, which is ridiculous. And I won't pay that much for a sponge. I like the texture of this one better anyway. Don't want to waste them. Okay, so we'll blend this out. I'll be right back. And I will be applying my e.l.f. color corrector underneath my eyes to hide dark circles. We are going to apply this product directly to the dark spots. Not the spots, well, you know what, I could do the spots too. Sorry for that background noise. It's the really loud city buses that drive by. And I have to have the window open because it's so warm in here. So this is already falling out of the tube. I am not a fan of this product at all. I'm just going to use it up because I don't want it to, I mean, I need it. My under eye circles are so bad until I can get a different product, but the quality of that is not the best. It doesn't really sit well under the concealer. Okay, so I'm not really going to blend it. I want to keep the product where I put it. I am going to use my Liquid Camouflage Catrice Cosmetics Concealer. This is the shade 015 in Honey. This is probably really light, but it has a yellow base, which I like. And I haven't actually used this product yet with this color corrector, so we'll see how it performs. And I've actually used this one quite a bit, and I find there's not much product in here, so it's probably close to being thrown out as well. I don't know about you guys, if anyone else has makeup collections that you more extensive than the average person, but when you throw a product out and you're not intending to replace it, like it wasn't one of your favorites, do you kind of get a thrill from it? Like, does it make you feel good that you've like used it up without wasting it? I feel like that's kind of what it would feel like. Okay, so I'm just going to blend this out with the other end of my sponge here, and it shouldn't even take that long. So you will notice I did decide to highlight today. So I'm just highlighting the high points of my face and blending underneath my eyes. And I do, of course, bring up some of the concealer from below to my lid to prep for the shadow. And at first I wasn't sure about this concealer, but I like it. It's not one of my favorites. It probably compares to the L'Oreal Infallible Full Coverage concealer that I got from the drugstore. Like, this was a drugstore too, but this was from Ulta. Okay, so that looks good. And actually my under eyes are not creasing, which is really like a miracle, actually. So I am going to go in with my sponge into my Essence Brighten Up powder. This is also from Ulta. And I really like this. I have 2 of these, and I also decided to invest my whole $6 in the loose banana powder as well, because this is banana, so it is definitely brightening. And I find with like a pressed powder, as long as you don't put too much on, your under eyes look really good if you use your sponge. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll probably just use my sponge for my entire face. Wherever I applied that concealer is where you definitely want to set it, even though the rest of your face, like for me, a problem area is my forehead, but the rest of my face does not crease. So, I mean, you can still set it, it will last longer if you set it. And if you don't, it just looks more natural. So I'm just using my F25 tapered face. I had to look at the name of it because I rarely use this one, but I think in this like pressed powder to set your face, it would work really, really well. So I'm not really going to let this sit. Like, it's not going to be a bake. I'm just going to gently wipe it away here. Usually I always go in with my F06 powder sweep, but my under eyes look fantastic right now. Like, I really like that combination. And I'm just lightly setting the rest of the face because I don't really want a lot of product, and it looks really, really good. Okie dokie. So now we're going to contour. And for today, I am actually going to use my Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette because every now and then I just like switching out. I have a variety of contour palettes now, which I'm very happy about actually. And I'm just going to go straight in. I might mix all of these shades on the bottom because the dark one is just too dark unless I'm doing a full like date night contour. And the middle one is too ashy and this is too light. So if I mix them all, and sometimes I add some of this highlight shade, which is just a deep highlight for dark skin. I find that the colors look really good when I do that. And that's why I really like this palette because it's so versatile. You can usually, like, you know, if you have a bronzer, I could go in on my skin with a bronzer for a shade that would look good on my skin. But if you're doing someone else's makeup, or say for instance you're doing wedding makeup for like the bride and the bridesmaids, it's nice to have like a selection. So you need different colors in your kit because we all know this day and age, one does not fit all. I'm just adding some color to the nose and under the lip, the jawline. I'm not going too deep with this today. I love the way this stuff smells, and I also, every time I put some on and I'm talking, I always get a little bit of the product falling on my tongue. And it's so sweet. It's so weird. So I'm just blending the contour in a little bit here. And it's very important that you always connect your contour around your forehead and the perimeter of your face and your temples to your contour on your cheek, just for a seamless finish. It warms up the face, balances your face. So we will go in and blush, and I am actually going to use a blush topper today as well. So I'm using my Tarte Double Duty Beauty Make Every Moment Count blush palette, and I like this one because the colors are very natural, very muted, especially if you are doing a blush topper on top. So I usually like to mix these top two colors, give a little smile, and just put it on the apples of your cheeks, but blend up into your contour. And I add a little bit to my chin, a little bit to the nose, and I don't usually touch the forehead, but if you added just a little bit, you can't really see anyway. It just, like I said, it gives that balance to the face. This is my favorite blush brush. I am going to be doing a video on brushes for you guys. I know that there's tons on the internet right now, but I know that a lot of my friends and family don't watch YouTube videos. So if I can do them a favor and they feel more comfortable watching my channel, why not? You will kind of figure out, you know, what brush is for what, because there are a lot of different brushes and it's difficult to, like, it just depends what brand you buy because each brand has their own type of brush for like a certain thing, like cheap products. For instance, Real Techniques brushes are completely different than Sigma brushes, for instance. Okay, so we're going to quickly highlight, and then we're going to spray our face, and then I'll go off camera and do brows. So for highlight today, I don't know why, but I've really been liking this F64, the Soft Blend Concealer brush. Maybe because it's a bit smaller than the F35, I don't know. But I like this one. So I'm just going to go into this Benefit Cheek Leader Mini Bronze Squad mini palette, and this is the shade Cookie. This is their newest highlighter that they have out. And I always say that I don't like this highlight. Like at first I was like, oh, you know, who was it now? I know Angela Bright has it, but also Jaclyn Hill had done a review on it, and she said it was the most amazing highlighter. But I'm putting it on my cheek right now, and I can see these individual sparkles, and I don't like that. But once you spray your face with the setting spray, it's magical. It makes it look like it's wet. Like right now, from here, it looks wet. Like it's really, really pretty. Up close, I can see it and I don't like it. I always put some on the tip of my nose just to make it look like a button nose, but my nose is no button nose. It is one of my most prominent features on my face, so I make it work for me. I always add some to the Cupid's bow because it makes your lips look a little poutier it makes your top lip look fuller and like more pouty, and then if you put the shade under your lower lip, it makes your lower lip look more pouty. And then I sometimes put a little bit right here because it's where the natural light hits me anyway. Okay, too much, too much. Just go back in with your powder brush if it's too much. Wow, that was pretty potent. And then the other thing I quickly want to do is just go in with a blush topper. So I want to use my Milani Baked Blush. This is the shade 03 Berry Amour. And it just has, it's a really pretty blush. It has some gold veining throughout. So I add it as a blush topper and just lightly put it on my cheek. And if you have watched any of my older videos, I am a huge fan of blush, especially in fall. I really like a deep, like cherry or deep wine color. I do. I have a Milani wine colored blush. It is one of my favorites. It is so deep and rich and dark, and it has gold veining in it. And one of my favorite things to do for fall is like a really dark cheek look with black liner and just really long lashes. And lips can be whatever. They can be dark, they can be light, but the cheeks are kind of like the star. I'm a huge fan, like, and not that I do this often, but I do think that it is nice to kind of pick one feature of your face and focus, so you can still do the rest of your makeup, but if you have really dark blush, focus on the blush, and instead of doing eyes, blush and lips and, you know, just tons of different things. So I'm actually using a different setting spray today. I've got another one of these and I want to use it up because it's a little old. This is the Eve on True Color Makeup Setting Spray, and I think it just makes it last a little bit longer, but we're going to spray my face now. So the trick with setting sprays, you can get different ones that have different finishes, so like mattes, and you can get a dewy finish, which for instance the Milani Make It Dewy or the Morphe Continuous Mist, they're dewy finishes. Ones that make your makeup last would be this one I'm using now, or the All Nighter by Urban Decay. But generally all setting sprays are the same. The problem arises when you have a different nozzle that doesn't spray properly, so it might have really, really big particles of mist hitting your face. And the best one, in my opinion, is probably the Morphe, because it is the continuous mist and it is so fine that it just gives you that perfect finish. I kind of play with all of them and just see what works. I'm a huge fan of MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus as well. I usually use that one for my brushes though, when I'm adding color on my brush, especially like a sparkle or a shimmer, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a pop. And my lavender one is almost all gone. And this one I can definitely tell that it's supposed to be like a stay there setting spray, because my face kind of feels tight after it dries. So it's a weird feeling. But anyway, so I'm going to go in and do brows. I'm using different products again. I'm going to use my Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer in 305 Soft Brown, and my Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer Mascara in Soft Brown as well. We get into this beautiful eye look. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. These probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the pinks, purples, and the teals are my favorite colors. Like, I love that selection. I wouldn't mind playing with this. It's kind of like, I don't know if you can even see it here. Probably not. Let me try to swatch it for you. Let's swatch it here. So it's basically like an eyeshadow topper, and it just changes the color of your shadow and gives it a different finish. And it's kind of like this pink sparkle, I would have to say. So I could always add that. And, oh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, we're going to go in. I'm just going to play with it, you guys. We're going to go in with this shade called Antidote, and it is definitely a crease shade. I could also deepen it up and make it a warm color with this one here, but I just want to start with this shade. I'm going in with an E40, tapping off the brush. It is the lightest shade that I can find, being a crease color, and we're going to use this to blend out the rest of our shadow. So I can barely even see it on my eye. It doesn't really do much, but I know it's there, and I know that it's going to help blend out whatever colors I decide to use. So I kind of want to do something crazy, because these colors are crazy. I mean, usually I go in with a palette, like either like a neutral cool palette or a neutral warm, easy to go in with browns and just create a look. But when you're doing color, sometimes it's hard to figure out what colors look good together. But honestly, at the same time, because it's summer, and because right now the like neons and the bright colors are really in. So I think that it honestly doesn't matter. If you're playing with makeup and you're having fun, just go for it. Have fun with it. Who cares if the colors don't match? I think that's kind of the point nowadays, is that, you know, I could go in with a purple on my lid and then I could do like a gold on the bottom, or, you know, whatever. Speaking of that, wow, what should we do? I don't really want to do something I've done before. I'm gonna go a little nuts, I think. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna start. I could just keep talking further. We're gonna start with a clean E35. So I've used an E40. I used this same brush yesterday. It's basically just to apply my transition colors, so usually they're all the same anyway. So clean E35. I think I want to start, I know I want to get this dark blue in there somehow. Like, that's going to be crazy. And they all look sparkly. I'm going to start with Fortune Teller. I don't really know. It looks like one of those transition, like not transition shades, but like kind of like a color changing shade. I don't even know how well they're going to blend dry, because a lot of the times I like to add these colors with a wet brush, and I usually just do a pop of color on the lid. It actually is going on really, really nice. I can see in the pan it kind of looks like a browny gray, but if I turn it certain ways it looks green. But then when I put it on the brush, it looks brown. And I'm putting it on my eye and it looks brown with some kind of under sparkle tone. At the same time, it's definitely giving me more definition in the crease, which I like. I think that's kind of cool actually. So I think this will be a good kind of starting base for some of the other colors that I want to put on my eye, which I still haven't really decided what I'm going to do. All I know is I want it to be kind of a blown out. I might do like a sharp edge on the edge of my eye and actually bring it out kind of like a colored cat eye, but not really sticking to the lash line. I just don't really know what colors I want to do it with. And surprisingly, this palette has a lot of browns, but I want to stick with pinks and purples and teals. I just feel like I've done so many looks that involve those colors. So now we are going to go in with wet brushes, because I think the first brush I'll use, usually I use an E25, but I'm going to use my E55, which is my eye shading. I'm going to spray my Milani Make It Last setting spray instead of my MAC Fix Plus. So I'm soaking my brush in this, and I'm going to start putting a color on my lid. I'm going to stick to the inner corner, but not completely, because I want enough of a lighter color to maybe put in this color here on the very inner corner as a highlight. So I'm going to use this color Ego, and obviously I won't tap it off. I'm just going to put it straight on my lid. So I'm just going to start right there. And I want to do the same thing. Remember, I think I was telling you guys in one of my videos with the Natural Lust palette by Too Faced, I want to do the peacock look that was done in the original video on the Sephora website for Canada there. I don't know if the Sephora website is the same in the States and Canada or not, or if they're completely different. I want to do that peacock look that she did as well. I'm going to start there, and then I am going to deepen it up. I'm going to add the dark purple now, but I am going to spray my brush again, and I'm just going to use the other side. So that side is for the light purple. This side will be for the dark purple, and we'll just put it here. And then what we're going to have to do is kind of wait for it to dry, because then after we can go in with this and just add a little bit more color and blend it. So I feel like this is kind of like the opposite of a halo eye, because a halo eye you want to do a bright color on the middle of the lid to make your eyelid pop. In this case, I'm not putting the same color on the outside corner. I'm actually going to do, we're just going to go for it and do the dark blue. So I have to use a different brush now because that one's full of color. I need a smaller brush because, ooh, let's try this one because we can kind of bring it up. So I'm using this shade Creaser E47, but I'm going to use it to draw a line. So this is called Sapphire Dream, and I don't think I've actually used this blue in here, but probably would have been easier to use a liner brush. And then we're going to bring it down later, but I'm not going to put, I don't think I'm putting the dark blue on the bottom. I'm just going to do a completely different color. Or I might stamp it onto the lash line and then blend it out with a different color. I think that would be a good idea. So I will be bringing this dark blue into the crease here. Not doing as dark right down here, just doing a lighter line. So I'm just going to stamp it into the very first color I used and just brighten up that purple that I used at the beginning, and kind of start blending out this purple color now. So I'm not re-wetting my brush, I'm leaving it with the same wetness, but just kind of stamping over that dark purple. I'll do the same thing with the dark purple, turn it over, and stamp that dark purple into the blue and over top the pink, just to blend all of the colors out. Okay, so this blue is crazy. I mean, I've used blue eyeshadow before with the Jeffree Star and the Beige Cosmetics, but I've never done this like dark navy blue before. But I love how that purple and that pink color are blending out. Well, I want to call it a pink color, but I think it's like still a purple color, and even the purple blending into the blue is quite nice as well. The only issue is trying to clean up the dark blue around the edges, and I think it would actually be kind of neat if we took a liner brush now. So take this really skinny liner brush, I think I'd have to wet it as well. I'm going to put it into that transition color, which is, it's actually called Luna, and it's not really a transition color, I don't know what I was saying. It's that topper. I just want to see what it looks like if I were to outline the blue with that. It might not even really work that well because it's, even wetting the brush, it's not really working. The whole point is to kind of give like a definition and just even out that blue so it doesn't have any rough edges. I tried to do the best I could when I was applying it in the first place, but it looks kind of cool actually. I feel like we need to blend out the inner corner, like where we put that blue. I'd probably take that lighter purple and just go over it a bit, because maybe it shouldn't be so dark right there. But we'll put some like really light in the inner corner. It'll just kind of make your eyes pop a bit, or in this case, my eyes. So now I'm going to try to mimic the other side and see if we can get it kind of the same. And then I'm going to go back in with that brush that had the blue on it now and just clean up that line. So now I'm going to go in with another smaller brush. So see if I can find a small enough one. This is the smudge brush, the E21, and I want to go in with this teal shade now. So this is called Heavy Water, and I might blend it on the lower lash line going into Secret Keeper, which is the green one. So we'll start on the outside with this one, and we might bring this one on the inner corner on the lower lash line now. And I'm only going to go halfway, but we need to kind of bring this up and blend it into that outside corner up here. So I'm just kind of keeping it with the same shape, but I'm only leaving it on the lower half of that dark blue, and then on the inside we can blend the green in right here. I will take the same brush and I'm going to dip it in the green now, and I might actually dip it in the gold as well, and just concentrate on the inside corner and then blend it into the teal, and then put a little bit of gold right there. And now with that other color, the one I said I was going to use for the inner corner highlight, it is called Electric Air. I need to see if I have a clean brush. So I'm just going to use my pencil brush. I might have to spray it again just to get maximum color payoff. And we're going to put that color right on the inner corner, and not blending, just stamping the color there. And we can put it into that middle highlight color as well. I'm just going to kind of clean up this outer corner with a little bit of concealer. So I might use the same concealer. I need a clean brush. I'm going to use this E36 blending, even though we're not blending. We're just going to clean up the edge here. So I'm just going to blend it onto my hand and just really gently focus on cleaning up that harsh line up there. And then I just kind of blend it up and away so you can't really tell that there's any concealer there. And I kind of feel like this outer corner is curled up more and this one isn't. I think once we get like liner on and lashes, I don't really think it'll matter. So I believe that is it for the actual shadow. So I mean, that looks crazy. And the only thing actually I might do extra is I would take that brush that we applied the inner corner highlight to, take that lighter color, not the white color, but just the lighter kind of purple, and just bring it up more on the lid itself, just to blend it into that other purple, just to give it a little bit of pop. And that is it for the Urban Decay palette. So let's finish up this look. We've still got lots of work to do. And I was going to go in with a neutral lip and like line my lips, but I think with a look like this, I think it would just be a little bit more simple and a little bit more easy if we just used a sparkle. Like I'm thinking like Buxom full-on plumping lip polish. So the next thing we want to do is clean our brushes. That's a no-brainer. Okay, I will get some lashes here. I think this look calls for some crazy lashes, so I'm going in with my Morphe. They were the premium lashes, but they are beautiful, and I think I have to really wash them and take off the glue because I had them in this plastic bag and they're just kind of a mess. So we'll take off the glue after today's makeup tutorial. So first off, I am going to line my inner water rim with a black pencil. So I'm taking Blackest Night, which is waterproof, and it's an Avon True Color Glimmer Stick. Doing a very light line. I'm not pressing heavy at all. And you could, so for a look like this, if I had kind of gone in and already knew what I was doing, I could have just gone in with a really dark line and then blended out the lower lash line with the color, but I didn't do that, and that's okay. So I'm going to also add a black line to the upper lash line, and this is my it's been so used I don't even have like the description on it anymore, but this is the L'Oreal Liner Intense Carbon Black, and this was my favorite liner before I actually found like the pen felt tip liners. So this has a very small brush on it, and it gives a really nice black line right against the lashes. I won't be bringing it up into a cat eye at all. I'm just focusing on making the lash line a bit more dark. And this helps too because the lashes I'm putting on have a really dark lash band. So putting on black liner before really helps. And so that just helps to darken up the eye, and it will look really, really nice once we get those lashes on. So we have to add a little bit of mascara. I did open up a new one. This is my Maybelline Total Temptation Blackest Black. It actually doesn't say on the bottom, but I always get black, like or the Carbon Black or the Blackest Black. And I like this one because the brush isn't too big, so it's very easy to just get right in there and coat your lashes. Okay, so now we're going to put lashes on here, and we are done with the eye. I am going to use my Rebecca Buxom lip gloss. I don't think you want to go on with a color with this eye look, and I'm picking the lightest gloss that I have. And now with this look, you could definitely get more highlighter on your face. I think we'll do that just for shits and giggles. So I'm going to take my Flower Beauty highlighter now. This is the Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette, and I'm going to go into that same brush I used, my F64. I'll take the Champagne shade and just put it right on my cheekbone there. I really like this one because it has a more finely milled powder, again on the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. And then you could also go in a little bit on the brow bone here, just like that. Right. So I mean, this look is very, very dark, but you could pull the same effect with the lighter colors in that palette. You could do gold, you could do green, and then you could transition into teal, which is another one that we might do eventually. We'll see. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this look. I'm actually going to call this a festival makeup look using the Urban Decay Elements palette, and I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Is this something that you would wear to a festival? I know it's not as crazy as some people can get. You could probably just wear this look to a bar at nighttime and pull it off. And I don't really think, maybe I didn't bring it up high enough, because when I have my lid open with these crazy lashes, you can't really see the color on the top. I will take a couple of pictures, and I will definitely post this on Instagram once this video goes live. But until next time, you guys, have a wonderful day. We will talk to you very soon. Take care.